Good morning everyone. Today's our topic is spinal cord part 1, that includes the external feature, in which we discuss about the external aspect of the spinal cord, where there is a presence of different fissure and sulci, then enlargement of the spinal cord, then spinal segments and cauda equina. So we start with the introduction of the spinal cord. Spinal cord is the lower elongated part of the central nervous system. Central nervous system includes the brain and spinal cord. So spinal cord is a lower elongated part of the central nervous system. It extends from C1 vertebra to the L1 vertebra. C1 means upper border of the posterior arch of the atlas vertebra C1 up to the lower border of the lumbar vertebra first, in which it is extended. Now shape of the spinal cord is it is cylindrical in shape, and it is flattened antero-posteriorly, and length of the spinal cord in case of adult male is about 45 centimeter. In case of female it is about 42 centimeter, and weight of the spinal cord is about 30 grams. And spinal cord is passes through the upper 2/3 portion of the vertebral canal. So spinal segment is not exactly corresponding with the vertebra of the vertebral canal. Now there are some positional changes occur during the development of the spinal cord. Up to 3rd month of the intrauterine life, spinal cord is extended corresponding with the vertebral canal. But later on, vertebral canal grows faster than the spinal cord. So end of the spinal cord is somewhat at higher level, and that is at the time of birth. Consequently, it is extend or end of the spinal cord is at the level of L3 vertebra, and in case of adult it is somewhat higher extended, that is at the level of lower border of L1 vertebra. So this type of changes occurs of the spinal cord at the corresponding with the vertebral canal. So knowledge of these vertebral changes is important to avoid injury to the spinal cord during the lumbar puncture, especially in case of children. So this is about the introduction of the spinal cord. Now we discuss about the external feature of the spinal cord. This diagram showing the diagram showing the anterior aspect of the spinal cord, and this B diagram showing the posterior view or posterior aspect of the spinal cord. Now spinal cord extend between C1 to L1, right? So it is the lower continuation of the medulla oblongata, that is the part of the brainstem. Then from C1 vertebra there is a starting of the spinal cord. So throughout the length it is cylindrical in shape, but at two level there are fusiform swelling occurs, that is called as a cervical enlargement and lumbar enlargement. So first of all we discuss about the fissures and sulci that is present on the outer aspect of the spinal cord. Now first, in the anterior view of the spinal cord, in the median aspect there is a presence of deep fissure, that is called as the anterior median fissure, that is present entire length of the spinal cord, and that present on the anterior aspect. Now lateral to this there is a presence of another one sulcus, that is called as anterolateral sulcus, that is also present in the throughout the length of the spinal cord. Now in posterior aspect, on the median aspect there is a presence of longitudinal deep groove is there, that is called as a posterior median sulcus, posterior median sulcus. Now on each side of the posterior median sulcus, rest of the portion of the posterior aspect of spinal cord is divided into two half by the posterolateral sulcus. So this one is the posterolateral sulcus. Now there is another one sulcus is present, particularly in the cervical and thoracic segment of the spinal cord, that is called as a posterior intermediate sulcus, that is present between the posterior median sulcus and posterolateral sulcus. So these are the fissures and sulci. So because of anterior median fissure anterior aspect and posterior median sulcus on the posterior aspect, divide the spinal cord into two equal halves. Now each half is again divided into three parts by the presence of this anterolateral sulcus and posterolateral sulcus into anterior and posterior, and in between the anterior and posterior segment there is the presence of lateral portion of the spinal cord. So this is about the fissure and sulci. Now discuss about the spinal segment. Now what is spinal segment? The pair of spinal nerves, right and left pair of spinal nerves, is attached on the portion of the spinal cord, that is called as a one spinal segment. Now there are 31 pair of spinal nerves. Same, there are 31 segments of the spinal cord. Out of the 31 segments, there are 8 cervical segments, 12 thoracic segments, 5 lumbar segments, 5 sacral segments, and 1 coccygeal segment. So these segments corresponding with the vertebra in case of thoracic, lumbar and sacral region, but in case of cervical region there are 8 cervical segments compared to 7 cervical vertebra, and in case of coccygeal region there is only 1 coccygeal segment for the 4 coccyx vertebra. In remaining part of the spinal cord, they are corresponding with the, according to number, corresponding with the vertebra of the vertebral column. Now from each spinal segment, right and left side, there is a number of rootlets are arise, and this number of rootlets unite and form the one nerve, that is called as spinal nerve root. So spinal nerve root is coming out from the spinal cord via two aspects: anterior aspect that form the motor root, and from the posterolateral aspect the nerve root enter the spinal cord, that form the sensory root or posterior root. Anterior root is also called as a motor root, that coming out from the anterolateral sulcus of the spinal cord, and posterior root enter the spinal cord or sensory root enter the spinal cord via posterolateral sulcus. Now these spinal nerves coming out from the spinal cord, they are passes through intervertebral foramina, but in case of cervical region they are passes above the corresponding vertebra. In case of 8 cervical segment passes between the C7 and between C7 and T1 vertebra, and from that onward spinal nerves coming out just below the corresponding vertebra. Now this table showing the approximate vertebral level changes occur of the spinal cord segment in corresponding with the vertebra. In case of upper cervical region, both cervical segment, spinal segment and vertebral level is same, both are at the same level, and thereafter changes occurs. In case of lower cervical region, C6 spinal segment is corresponding with the 5th cervical vertebra, so that is 1 vertebra above. In case of upper thoracic region, spinal segment is T5, that is related with the 3rd thoracic vertebra, so here there is a 2 vertebra above. In case of lower thoracic region, T10 spinal segment corresponding with the 7th thoracic vertebra, so here there is a 3 vertebra above. In case of lumbar region, all the lumbar segments corresponding with the T10 and T11 vertebra, so here there is about 3 to 5 vertebra above. In case of sacral and coccygeal segment, that is corresponding with the sacral segment 1 to 5 and coccygeal segment corresponding with the vertebra T12 to L1. So here there is a 6 to 10 vertebra above segments are situated. So this is about the spinal segments. Now enlargement of the spinal cord, that is occur at two levels, cervical level and lumbar level. So there is a difference between cervical enlargement and lumbar enlargement. These enlargements are nothing but due to the presence of large number of large motor neuron, and that provides innervate the muscles of the extremity including the girdles. Now cervical enlargement is extend between C4 to T2 vertebra, and widest circumference of the cervical enlargement at the level of C6 vertebra, that is about 38 millimeter, and that cervical enlargement that is for the innervation of the muscles of the upper limb including shoulder girdle, while lumbar enlargement is extend between L2 to S3 segments, and widest circumference of the lumbar enlargement is at the level of S1 segment, that is about 35 millimeter, and lumbar enlargement that is for the muscles of the lower limb including the pelvic girdle. So this is about the enlargement. Actually the spinal cord circumference of the spinal cord is cylindrical in shape and diameter is about 1.25 centimeter, but at these two levels there is a fusiform swelling occurs for the innervation of the extremities. Now last portion of the external feature, that is cauda equina. Cauda means tail and equina means horse. So there is a bunch of nerves resemblance with the tail of horse. So this bunch of nerves consist of the lower four lumbar spinal nerves, all the sacral spinal nerves, and pair of coccygeal spinal nerves that form the cauda equina. So it is look like a tail of horse, that's why it is called the cauda equina. Now another two terminology we discussed, that is the lower tapering portion of the spinal cord, that is extend up to the L1 vertebra. So this lower tapering portion is called as a conus medullaris, and from the apex of this conus medullaris there is extension of the pia mater, that is up to coccygeal vertebra. This one is a coccygeal vertebra. It is a thin thread like filament is there, that is called as a phylum terminal. So this is about the external feature of the spinal cord. Now we discuss in next segment, that is internal feature of the spinal cord.